Good evening and welcome to the Graham Craig Root Show. Thank you for tuning in, folks. Tonight's show is sponsored by Energy Awareness and Verso Fashions. Guys, I'd like to wish you all a happy Valentine's Day in advance for Thursday. So who's joining me tonight? We have, she's tanned, she's glam, she's always on the lookout for a man. Ladies, lock up your husbands. It's Brenda Dennehy. We have award-winning men's hairstylist Kieran O'Sullivan, musician Lorna Moore, and American comedian Dakota Mick. Thank you so much for joining me, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Anytime. Just like a little intro, Brenda?
I loved it, of course I did. So
very
cool.
individual. Very fitting.
Yes,
very
fitting. Yes, very fitting.
Very fitting. There's wives now all around Ireland checking their husbands.
Checking their phones and everything, yes.
Lucky toes.
Yeah.
So guys, what's hot in Ireland right now? I suppose the nurse strike is something that's really kind of caught the news the last couple of days. Over 90,000 appointments have been affected. What's your thoughts on it, Brenda?
Well, my sister is a nurse in Abu Dhabi. She's over there with a year now. I have visited her twice. She's in the Abu Dhabi clinic, and if you actually saw like the hospital comparing to, we'll say CUH, you know, which actually is quite a big hospital, but this thing is ginormous. And I suppose just the conditions that they're working under comparing to when she was working in CUH, completely different. Completely different. I mean, the way they're actually treated over there. I mean, sometimes she gets to look after some of the royals, you know, as well over there. And
she never set you up a Harry or
do nothing for you. Not those royals, round about the Arab royals.
Oh, even better.
You know, and I mean, one Arab royal, she looked after them one time, and I think like she got a huge, massive tip. But for the Arabs over there, she says to me, it's like a day out for them going to the hospital. You know, by the way, if we're going to the hospital, it's like, oh God. You know, if you find out you have to go to A and E here, you're like, oh no, not A&E. 12 hours. I mean, and then there, you're in and out. I actually had to go to the hospital with her when I was over there because she had a small procedure. And I mean, we were in and out in no time. You know, there was no big long waiting list. There was no big long queues. Nothing at all like that. It was just in and out, job done, none of this waiting around. You know, any information that you needed, you know, you didn't have to go to this desk and that desk and everything. It was just, everything was there.
Their biggest thing is that they're doing it because of the rates that they're being paid while they're studying.
But it's the hours as well. Like my really good friend Max, hi Max, is a nurse in the regional Limerick, and like they're always understaffed, but then their hours are unjustifiable. I know they get their rest periods in between,
they get like 14,000 in one of their years, but their rents are like 9,000, so they're like 5,000 to live off for the rest of the year. What about yourself, Mick? Say from an American side of things and an Irish side of opinion, what do you think of the current nurse strike?
Well, I mean, obviously you would support the nurse strike. I would have a history. I have a daughter who has attended Crumlin for the last 10 years as an outpatient, so like I've always seen like the professionalism that the nurses and hospital staff do, but you do see the conditions that they work in, and you know it is unacceptable.
Like a nurse, I think, is really at the central stage of it, because you think if we go in for an operation, as great as the surgeon is, he does the operation, but in order for that operation to be fully successful with the aftercare and everything, it's the nurses. Kieran, what do you think?
I feel that they're undervalued in this country. That like the main thing that you see is them picketing now and actually out striking, which is great to actually see. There's so much people that there's a lot of talk within this country, but it's actually doing it for actions. There's no actions happening, and I think it's great to see that they're actually putting it to the government, putting it towards Simon Harris as well, that he needs to clamp down on it. Like minimum wage they're saying is $9.55. That day you can't live to run a car, to rent a house, even if people have mortgages, you can't sustain it. Like even if you want to socialise your food, like break it down, you're coming out with pittance by the end of the week.
Yeah.
Like, and I think they have to be valued more for the hours that they're working as well, because they're working long shifts as
And
well.
it's
And
strenuous as
Yeah.
well, you know, and you're dealing with people. There's
Yeah.
a lot of demands on the one person.
And it's your health, like they're
Yeah.
responsible for someone's health as well, and
Yeah.
But
their
they're
health is your
diminishing
wealth, it's your
their
life.
own for the sake of yours, yeah.
No, it is. Guys, you heard our opinions. Let me know what you think of the current nurse strike. I know it has been suspended. There was a strike for today, tomorrow and Thursday, and that has been suspended. Another thing which I found harrowing when I read it tonight online was the fact that there was someone convicted today in Cork of distributing and being in possession of child pornography. He's from Mallow. He got a 3-year jail sentence in which the judge said because he cooperated and pleaded guilty that he'll retain the last 18 months of that sentence. So he'll only actually do 12 months. And then if he cooperates inside in prison, good behaviour, he could be out within 6.5 months. So to do 6.5 months potentially out of a 3-year jail term that he's been sentenced to for child pornography and distributing it, it's a joke. Brenda?
Absolutely. The way I see it as, what did he get in the first place? It
3
was
years.
three-
But because
okay.
he cooperated.
Not even that
No,
long
this
for
cooperation, carry on.
that.
I mean, what you're given, you should be given.
Exactly.
I mean, actually, this might come as a surprise. When someone says a life, I think is 12 years. For me, life should be life. End of story.
Well, I feel like people don't realise this. So, like, you take the children that have been involved in these videos, right? Like, if something happens to them at a young age, that memory stays in the back of their head.
Absolutely,
They're,
yeah.
they're affected in all their life to go ahead. Teenage years, they'll have their demons. Adult life, then, in their relationships, they'll
Yeah.
always have them demons from what happened to them for these
Yeah,
videos
their
to
mental
be
health
created.
is definitely
Exactly.
affected.
Karan?
It's boggling. I don't know what way to. I don't know even how to address it with the fact of like how can someone for just cooperating with the Gardaí to get his sentence suspended more and more and more, where I don't. Does legislation have to be looked at a small bit to say, right, do we need to clamp down on it a bit more? Because
And like his solicitor
Yeah.
would have said to him in the best way, plead guilty,
Yeah.
cooperate,
Yeah.
and it's half your term. So how you can even represent someone in a case
They're
like
doing
that?
it for loophole
Yeah.
reasons.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Alana,
I suppose the people defending them are defending them for reasons financial,
Yeah.
can
possibly.
you justify? I know, like we all need money to survive in the world. We
Yeah.
all have rent to pay, mortgages to pay, cars on the road. But could you? If I was a solicitor, I don't think I could take on that case. Like,
I
Lorna,
think
could you?
good of heartness goes out of it in those types of professions. It's very black and white. I think, though, the more loopholes they find, it doesn't seem to be diminishing the fact that it's actually happening in the first place. They don't seem to be learning lessons. They're only kind of finding a way out the whole time. So,
And say, Mick, as the main person on the panel who has children,
yeah.
what's your thoughts of, say, this case, 3 years, cooperation, 18 months gone, and he'll serve half of the 12 months that he now is given after?
Well, I mean, I have to be honest. Like, I come from a very conservative background in the States, and I'd have probably what a lot of people here would consider an extreme view of what should be done to this individual. I think anything like that where you're harming children,
death penalty, I
that's
think, in some
one
ways.
and I know my opinion would probably be considered extreme.
Yeah.
But that would be, I mean, I know if it was my daughters, there wouldn't be a court case, you know.
Have the parents been involved?
Well, like this, was like how it all came about was actually Ireland police weren't aware he's a resident in Mallow. He's from Mallow. Like, and the thing about it is, I think people have this stigma about paedophiles or like say this guy in general, like of what the image that you'd nearly think the individual would be. Like, I was shocked. You would look at this guy; he's normal. Someone
Never
I
the
actually
appearance
think
you
if me and
expect.
Brenda were in the city one night on a night out, Brenda would have been like, "Go over and get his number." That you would not think.
because
that.
I'd be doing-
No,
Yeah.
but you would not think to look at this
Yeah.
guy that he is into that. You think normal, good job, working, nice house, everything. What would lead you to want to watch a video like that? Like you said, we all do Netflix. We all sit down and watch stuff, but what enjoyment out of something like that is utterly horrific.
And you see, what annoys me the most is you would contact the guards then and you would ask the guards about this individual and they will not comment, is this person on the sex offenders list or anything like that. They will not give you any information whatsoever.
Well, like in 6.5
I think that
months.
needs to change.
Exactly, and
I
in
think
6.5
that really
months'
needs to
time
change.
Full
now.
disclosure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. When
Well,
it
and
comes to certain
you
things
see,
like
there's
that.
there's a couple of groups operating now who
Yeah.
are
Yes.
starting to, you know,
Expose it.
Yeah,
expose
it,
it.
yeah.
Facebook.
And to be honest, I totally support what
Yes,
they're doing.
100%,
You know,
because
like
they do, and like I know the Gardaí have said that they don't support these groups because they imitate a young girl, like let the predator think that they're messaging a young girl, and then
Decoy,
they expose them then in a live
Yeah.
situation. But the evidence then in England, the laws are if you can go to them and say this guy has stuff on his computer, the police will go straight in, confiscate the computer, arrest him. But in Ireland, the laws aren't up to date yet. I know in 2017 there was new laws, but they're not fully up to date yet.
We have a big taboo about that kind of stuff in this country that we conceal a lot.
Absolutely. We actually got an email last year to the show, and it was an actual self-professed paedophile writing to us, saying basically, I am a paedophile, I am working with children, this is a true story. And
To get on this show?
Not this show, a show I was working on
Okay.
last year, a radio talk show. And they clarified they were working with children, and basically they didn't want to be a paedophile. They just wanted to get help in it, and obviously we got the email and we were like shocked. We were, oh my God, this is serious, you know. Now we did discuss the email, you know, on the show. The person wouldn't come on the air. I think we did have a paedophile on the air before with us. They just actually rang in themselves. But when we got that email, we got the guards in straight away. You know, they had to check out the computer and everything and try and find this person. I'm not sure what happened since. Like, it's after that, you know, we didn't hear any more about it. But
What
it was
their
actually,
purpose for contacting you?
I suppose they needed help.
Okay.
So they needed help, yeah. But I'm not sure if you are born that way. Like,
People
I think
have said,
you
because like, there
are
was a
born-
psychologist on the show
Yeah.
that I was
Oh, that's
recently on
interesting.
Virgin Media exposing
Yeah.
pedophiles,
That's it, yeah.
and
That's
he
it.
came on and he said that it's genetics. He reckons
Yeah.
you're born with it. Now, apparently there is a high percentage in Ireland alone from doing this survey that have put up their hands and said yes, they feel like they have
Tendencies.
sexual
For
tendencies
tendencies.
towards children, but never in a million
Have
years
Yeah.
would they act on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
And apparently
okay.
now they're bringing a drug into place that would actually kind of balance out the chemical in it. So, like, move on to a lighter note, guys.
Yeah.
Because like, that one is something we could definitely discuss. Like, guys, I definitely want to hear your opinions. Like, what do you think? Child pornography distribution, 3 years, sentence given, and 18 months suspended. So please do get in touch and give us your thoughts. On a lighter note, Thursday's Valentine's Day.
Oh, I can't wait!
You excited, Brenda?
Oh my God! I mean, just all the presents I'm expecting. Absolutely.
The ones you're buying for yourself?
Yeah, the ones exactly. Lorna. Oh God!
Like, saying what does is I have a friend now. He's recently he's in the middle of like just gone on a few dates with a girl,
Yeah.
and he's like, I'm gonna Lorna
Freaking.
and Brenda. He was like, I'm gonna ask your opinion out tonight and give it to him after the show. He's like, we've done 3 dates. He was like, what do we do on Thursday? What would you expect, Lorna, after doing 3
marriage.
dates? With a girl?
I don't know. I don't want to be cliche and be like every day is Valentine's Day, but I just feel there is a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
With
Would you
the
want a
date.
big bunch of flowers on Thursday if you've just done 3 dates with a guy?
I think I wouldn't expect it. No, I wouldn't
But if you're in a
expect
relationship for 2 years, what would you expect?
I think there's thoughts and gestures are always welcomed, but I wouldn't be looking for that particular day.
So, Brenda, you'd want to cruise.
Why do you pay me like this? Oh my God! No, I would actually 3 dates. Are they really into each other?
I think he likes her. Like, surprisingly, yeah, he likes her. He was.
Poor girl.
No, but like, no, it's actually hats off to this girl in question, because when someone's a womanizer and a girl comes along and the womanizer chills his ways,
Yeah.
hats off to the girl.
Actually,
So,
yeah,
she's doing
she
something
has
right.
changed him.
I don't know. I would send a dozen roses to where she works just to surprise her.
I would give
surprises are
advice.
always
More than
welcome.
that.
I would give advice to a young man, like on the first few Valentines, keep it small enough.
Yeah,
Because if you go too big, then you have to keep going big.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, you got to pace yourself in these
Consistency
things.
is key.
Yeah.
You know, like, because if you start off big the first year and you don't go as big the second
Yeah,
year,
but also seeing is
might be in
believing as
trouble.
well. A gesture is always
Yeah.
welcome.
Kieran, will you be sending anyone roses on
No,
Thursday?
we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I don't know. It's a tough one on a third date. Like I don't know. It's.
Have they been on 3 dates already?
3 dates,
Well,
yeah.
They have
it's
been on
only gone,
three
they're
dates.
going to
The
4th.
fourth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I think you have to kind of break it down to the time of how long have they been seeing each other. When is the next monumental
Yeah, and
kind
the
of time what's
quality
going to
of
happen?
what
and
how they were seeing each
yeah,
other.
exactly. And what
Yeah.
have they done in the time of being together as well? Like, and then is it a Joe, is the friendship sort of building even more and more and more, and is there a connection gathering?
Well,
So
they're doing the lovey-dovey photos on Instagram.
Oh,
They're
is it
doing
posting and tagging?
They're doing that already.
No,
Yeah,
too soon,
yeah,
too
they're
soon.
doing that. Like, say, like, you're married. What will your wife expect, or what will you expect on Thursday?
Hopefully I can just stay asleep for the whole day. No, we keep it simple enough. You know, like just more the gesture.
How long have you been together?
22 years. She hasn't killed me yet.
I'm still swimming.
So, Kieran,
Yeah.
tell me, Kiwi.
So when I was in 4th class, my best buddy couldn't spell my name for his birthday, and he threw down Kiwi on his birthday invitation, and it's stuck ever since.
I like what it's led to a very successful business.
Yeah,
for
I've been
yourself
lucky
now.
enough. Like I suppose I started when I was 16, doing work experience in Jesse's in Bantry for 2 days, and then I had a rugby competition on the Wednesday, and then went to Wayne Lloyd's for another 2 days in Ballyhob. And lucky enough, I got offered a job and was there for 4.5 years. And since December, I ventured out on my own and opened up my own place in Ferris Walk, which is joy. I got so much experience from working in a hairdresser's as well. I credit the training that I was given from Wayne and the staff, and the competitions that I done. It's quite amazing. It wasn't, I suppose, the passion that I thought it would take.
Because rugby was a massive thing for you, so to go into a big female-orientated profession.
Yeah, it was quite funny because I done physio as my first week of work experience in transition year, and loved it. Still would go back to this day if I didn't succeed with hairdressing. But it was quite funny to think that took down the hairdressing. The mother said it to me, like going, "Would you try something different?" And I was always into my hair, and said I'd give it a go. Looked at her with 4 eyes though. She was like, "What?" I was like, "What's going on here?" Like I was like me doing hairdressing, and lucky enough, the support from home, my family have been brilliant from day one. Like, and they've backed me through it all. And with competitions, they're not easy. Like, because there's a lot of time and pressure goes into them. Then there's money as well. Like you're trying to you have to invest a lot. Like, and I've travelled a bit with it. Like I was in London twice last year for competitions. I was lucky enough that I represented Ireland when I was 19 in Brussels, which was huge as well to get that opportunity. But now I think it's time. I'm going to give them a bit of a break, and I'm going to my 10th week in business now, so I'm looking forward to actually give that a go and actually work on that then and focus on it and keep it going. Like, I'm lucky enough. One thing I suppose with being 21, being young is trying to find people that will mind you and mentor you as well.
21 to be an entrepreneur with a
Yeah.
business
Incredible.
in the city, and to
So
already have
brave.
a social media platform and everything built up
Yeah.
there, and I think it should be passed
Thank
on
you.
the back.
Oh, thank you.
Hugely.
Cheers.
Yeah, big time.
The course up and coming, very talented musician, Lorna.
Thank you.
for joining me. Nice to
Thank
meet you.
you. Yeah, it's really cool to be here. Nice to hear
It's
about
like
other
something different
people's
on a Tuesday evening.
professions.
isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm
exactly.
doing. Conducting the UCC Choral Society stars, guys.
Lorna, where is
so
this passion overall? Because I don't want to say label you as a singer, because I think overall you're an extremely talented musician
yeah,
in so
I
many
kind of
fields.
have my hands in a lot of different honey pots. I'm a greedy little bear. I suppose again, like Kieran, wanted to be in different professions. I was really interested in sciences. I always had a brain for how do things work, and I think my parents were blue in the face for me being like, but why? But I always played music, and my parents are musical themselves. My dad plays guitar and writes songs, and my mum loves Sean-Nós music. She's a big folk head. So I guess I was always surrounded by it.
And where are you studying?
I studied in the Cork School of Music then, so I did the BMUS, and I studied piano performance then for my master's as well. And then in the midst of all that, I ended up getting vocal lessons just because I was kind of encouraged to. They just said, you've kind of got nice raw material there, go check out some lessons for yourself and come back. And I guess through that, from working in VoiceWorks Studios, which I think I entered in VoiceWorks Studios in their second year of even being open, so they're probably into their 5th or 6th, so that would be Leisha Leahy, O'Hanlon, and then Gemma Suger set up that place as well. Through their guidance, we ended up doing a lot of teacher training and tuition in how the voice actually works. So we did a lot of vocology and practice and vocal science seminars, and I think all of us just got blown away with how manipulative your voice is and how individualistic it is, but also then it made us better educators, because when people come in the door, we now actually have the answers. It's no longer experimenting. There's the creative side, which is really important, but now you're giving people results immediately and you know why it works and why it's efficient. So yeah, I guess then voice became a huge passion, and I still play the piano an awful lot. And then my other thing is I love a cappella singing, so I'm in a barbershop group as well called Guys and Dolls. Nothing got to do with the barbers, saws, but I was only saying to Kieran, it's led to a lot of disappointing hashtags where I'm like barbershop, and then loads of people who want to see hair are following me, and they're like, oh, she's only a singer.
Brenda, have you ever tried your hand at singing?
I used to play the keyboard.
Yeah?
I
should
sang
start a
over.
band.
Yeah, I know I sang over in Tenerife Oasis, Wonderwall.
Yeah?
Yeah,
There we
I
go.
know all the words, delighted with myself. Yeah,
It's always the one people want to
there.
hear at the end of the
Yeah,
night.
Wonderwall. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Lorna, a little
Yeah.
birdie tells me that if those who
tweet.
follow the NC Media page are in for a little treat maybe one day this week.
Oh yes, if you let me, I might tinkle the ivories. And I think one song that everyone wants to hear has been performed at the Grammys recently, so I might give that a
That's
belt.
something people might be able to
soon.
look forward to on
On
Thursday or Friday.
Thursday. Yeah,
Perfect.
Thursday.
We
So
look
stay
forward-
tuned.
We look forward to hearing that. Hello. Hi, sir.
Who's this?
We came all the way
Who's
over
this
from
now?
America to do the show tonight. Thank you so
you
much.
know,
to
I like
come.
to travel. I like to travel.
Thank you for joining us. And it's crazy how small the world is, because like to think that you know my uncle-in-law and you got a message today. So
That's mad.
yeah, you did something with him up in Dublin, Battle of the
Yes,
Axe.
yeah, I performed there at the Battle of the Axe there, and so he was just sending me a message, say hi to the nephew.
Small world though.
Yeah, it is.
so
Well,
nice.
especially Ireland. Like
Yeah.
you can't shake a cat without hitting someone you know.
It's also the
you know, like
first conversation starter. It's always like, so who do you know?
yeah.
Jesus, one inside. Hair, you're like, right, just break it down.
Yeah, I told my wife after we were living here about a year, like, I'm never cheating on you in this country because there's
Yeah,
no
right.
way you're getting away
Walk
with
back
it.
to.
Yeah. I can take him to Belfast, I'll still get caught.
And what's it like to say to come over as like an American and live your life in Ireland?
It's all right, you know. Like, I mean, you miss home.
Yeah.
You know,
Do you go home much?
We usually try to get home about every 2 years. Because like where I'm from, South Dakota is way out in the middle of nowhere.
Is it
And
hard
so
to
it's a
get
long
to?
trip. Yeah, you know, like we usually fly into Denver and then rent a car and you still got another 8-hour drive.
Wow.
You know, so it's a long trip. But so we usually try to go every 2 years and then go for like 3 or 4 weeks.
That's a lot of carpool karaoke.
Yeah.
I don't know what I managed.
So,
And say any up and coming gigs in Cork at the moment?
yeah, I got a few going. Like the next big one is I'm up in Galway next Monday for a comedy competition in
Very
the
good.
final. So I'm looking
Best of
forward
luck
to
with
that.
that.
And then I have a few around. I'm terrible if I don't have my notebook. I can't remember where I'm going.
That's what tattoos are for.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I've been busy with it. Like it's kind of like since.
And what do you think is what's your comedy passion? Because I love the comedy roast that you be on Comedy
Yeah.
Central. Do you know that channel? What
Yeah.
kind of style of comedy is it?
I tend to be a storyteller.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not much of a roaster because I really don't like picking on people.
Yeah.
And
too
so I've done one roast and I just didn't really enjoy the experience. I know I enjoy watching a good roast,
Yeah.
but me personally,
It's
I
different
just
when you're involved in it yourself.
yeah, because like it just and then like my style of comedy, like I tend to I like to pick on myself. You know, like if anybody's stupid in my comedy, it's me. Like for instance, like my wife would be involved in a lot of my jokes, but
Yeah.
I'm the idiot. You know, she's always the one that comes
Yeah.
out. You know, like.
You turn it around on yourself.
Oh
then.
yeah, and so I like to do it that way, where I'm just kind of poking fun at myself.
That's the secret to 22 years then.
Yeah, it is, you know. And then I also like to, what I like about doing it here is it allows me to poke at things in Ireland.
Yeah.
You know,
And
you-
you'll get away with it as well, coming in as the
We
American.
love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like for instance, I do this one joke
Yeah.
that I throw in, and it's talking about getting used to living in Ireland, and I say I try to fit in. Like when I first got here, I started supporting the Irish national sport, and then I say English Premiership. you know, which
Yeah.
obviously gets a laugh, you know.
Yeah.
And then I go off into how after a gig, a guy was saying to me, "Oh, hurling's a national sport." And I was like, "I know it is." And then I go, "By the way, what hurling jersey you wearing there?" And he goes, "Oh, it's Liverpool." You know, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, okay, why don't you just shut up then?"
Okay, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thank you.
The time
That went
has
way
come.
too fast.
Way too fast.
Well, you know what? You can all come back and see me again soon. But I have some great news for the viewers at home. It's competition time. So guys, as you know, last week we announced we have a competition for a meal for two in the Cockbull. Wings and burgers, yum. So we have the winner. So guys, we attached a number to everyone that shared the post. And the winning number is Brenda's age, 55.
Thanks so much.
So guys, number 50, number 55 is going to get a message. You are the lucky winner for a fabulous meal for two in the Cockbull. Guys, it's not just there though. We're not going to stop the competitions. We have another competition. We're our partners again, Cockbull. We have another meal for two to give away. So guys, how to enter? Like this post. Make sure you like Insu Media and the Graham Craig Root Show page. Tag your inner foodie and share. Thank you so much.
Can I say one thing before we go?
Yeah.
Can I just say happy anniversary on Friday to my mother and father who are going to be
That's awesome.
40 years married.
That's an
on Friday.
important
And
one.
just before we go, as well, I noticed something different about you tonight.
May
The
what?
glasses.
New glasses.
Yeah,
glasses.
should have gone to Specsavers.
Yes, Specsavers Wilton.
Hashtag
And
ad.
they say love at the side. Machino.
Lovely.
Machino or Moschino? Do you say
Machino.
Machino or Moschino? Machino.
Well, they're fabulous. And
It's fabulous. I just from my mommy and daddy. So thanks, Jill, for
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. See you all next week. Graham Craig Root Show, 8:30 with a new bunch of fabulous guests. See you next week, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. They're lovely glasses. They work wonders for you, like. Amazing what a good pair of glasses can do.